Hello everyone and welcome back to another Am I the Jerk episode. I know it's been a minute since I've done one of these, but guess what? The YouTube's been doing pretty good and I got some free time on my hands, so you're getting one of these. We're gonna go ahead and start it strong with story number 1. Am I the jerk for refusing to split the cost of my parents' care with my siblings? I, 29 male, have 2 siblings, my sister Lucy, 28 female, and my brother Joe, 26 male. We had very different parents growing up. I went no contact over a decade ago with them, while my brother and sister have the best memories with them. My parents took care of them, cared more about their well-being, fought for them. I always came last. I was the first to need glasses as a kid, but the last to get them because they delayed it, then prioritized my siblings getting them. By the time my turn came around, they had spent so much that I had to go for the cheapest pair that didn't really fit me. When I was a teenager, I developed a cyst. It caused me some pain and surgery was advised to get it removed. But because it wasn't an essential surgery, my parents said it could wait until I needed it to be removed or until I was old enough to pay for it myself. They left me dealing with daily pain because they didn't consider it worth the money. I tried begging my parents, but they told me they didn't want to pay for unnecessary surgery. I told them it would improve my life being pain-free, and they said I was living just fine. They sat my siblings down for college talks before they entered high school. They never had those talks with me. They didn't even mention it when I would come home with stuff from school about college options. There was never any effort from my parents to contact me when I went no contact. I did lose touch with my siblings for a couple of years. We had a very strained relationship for about 2 years after contact was made when Joe moved out at 19, and we went from very strained to regular strained. They don't understand my experience with our parents, and they dislike that I told them we have different parents, even with the same people as parents. Both parents are now sick and require care. Mom is a little worse than dad at the moment, but per Lucy, that changes depending on how they're doing. They're looking at nursing facilities where they will get the best care, and they are expensive. So my siblings want to split the cost 3 ways. I told them I would not pay for our parents' care. They told me I have to, and surely I owe them this much. I told them I only care I would ever pay for is the kind where they get treated the same as they treated me. They told me not to be spiteful, and as the oldest, I should be thinking of it as helping them as well. Am I the jerk? Now, with this being such a sensitive subject of their parents, here's a little bit of a life lesson that OP can do. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out, be as successful as you can, make enough money in the world to where nobody in your life would ever have to worry about any more of their problems. Once you do this, you go to where your parents are, you bring them in, you look them in the eyes and you go, "Do you remember the cyst?" And as you watch the fear grow in their eyes, you let them know that since your surgery isn't necessary, you can deal with it. No, of course, the OP is not the jerk here. If the parents figured that you would be put last out of all 3 of these, which is also weird because the OP here is the oldest sibling, and in my experience, wouldn't it usually be the firstborn who gets all the nice things? They were just kind of like, the firstborn can kind of fend for himself. He can deal with everything that he needs to. It's not our problem. And if they treated him like not their problem, then he should do the exact same right back, especially if you haven't talked to them in 10 years. There's absolutely no need for you to feel any type of responsibility to these people. They may have brought you into this world, but by golly, you can be the one to take them out, not the jerk. Am I the jerk for not getting my daughter a cabin? Am I the jerk for not getting my oldest her own cabin? I have 4 kids, 20 female, 18 female, 18 female, and 12 male. We're planning to do a vacation to Athens soon, and we're planning to stay in an inclusive resort. To get to Athens, we plan to take a 6-hour ferry. We booked a regular seat for €40, and it would be an afternoon trip, so there's no need for a cabin. My oldest, on the other hand, wants a private cabin that'll be about €150 just to have the privacy and to take a nap, which she doesn't need a room for, to be honest. I don't think it'll be fair to give her a private room while the others don't have one. It'll especially be unfair to the twins, and getting all of us a cabin would be around €500, which is a waste. Now my oldest is complaining about how I'm not giving her privacy and I care about the other kids' feelings more than her. Should I get her a cabin? Or should I get us all a cabin? Am I the jerk? Don't worry, OP. You're not the jerk here. All that this screams is that your 20-year-old daughter is sitting here going, "Mother, but I want a cabin now. I don't want to sit amongst the commoners. I wish to take a nap while we're on this rocking boat. Why can I not have my own private cabin of which I can have my privacy and take a nap? You expect me to take a nap with the regular people?" No, the OP here is not the jerk. Tell your daughter, look, you have a seat on the ferry. I'm not paying for everyone else to have their private cabin, so you can have a seat on the ferry, or if you really like it, we can put a string on the back of the boat and you can hold on to that and we'll save the extra $40. So make your choice, but no, the OP here is not the jerk. And on to our third and final story, and I think this one really takes the cake. Am I the jerk for telling my wife our daughter will not be given a unique or weird hippie name? My wife, 28 female, and I, 30 male, are expecting a baby girl in March. We have not yet decided on a name, and it's becoming worrying that we might not reach an agreement on what to call our daughter. We have very different ideas about what the name should be. My wife likes nothing too classic and normal like the names that I've suggested: Elizabeth, Emily, Natasha, Hannah, Catherine, Francesca, Matilda, Annabelle, Isabel, Vivian, Sadie, and many others. My wife has suggested some names I would consider far more modern, as she likes unique and/or names I find very hippie. Sky, Indy, River, Ocean, Seraphina, Atlas, Clove, Dove, Asteria, Lennox, Ember, Winter. We have thrown out hundreds if not thousands of names, and anytime I ask her why she dislikes any of the more known/common classic names, she says she likes none of them. She either finds them boring or old-leaning, and she doesn't like that. I told her it would be better for our child to grow up with a name that sounds normal versus one made up to be unique. She told me she would never agree to a name like Elizabeth or Amelia, another name I suggested. I told her I will not agree to a unique or weird hippie name for our daughter. She told me it's why we're still looking, and I told her that the names of late have been worse from her. She told me the feeling is mutual and I'm not going to force her to change her taste. She also told me my description of her names is unfair and there's nothing that unique about most of them, and I simply reject everything that's a little more modern leaning in usage. We took some time after that and have not returned to names in about 4 days. I can see she's bothered by my choice of words, but I can see she's also frustrated and feels our daughter's due date looming over us as well. Am I the jerk? So I really like this one because it's kind of complicated. It's very interesting that the two of you have formed a relationship and are getting to the point where you're about to have a child and realize that y'all have two very different naming mindsets. I don't think that the OP here is the jerk. I understand where they're coming from. At first I was like, oh, well, maybe it's just they don't like some of the new names that they're putting out there. They can't be that bad. But seeing some of the names that they suggested, keep in mind, this is a baby daughter and they're thinking of calling them Atlas, Lennox. Like what is this? They say they don't want any classic names. Atlas comes from Greek mythology. You can't get more classic than that. Atlas is more classic than is Elizabeth or Amelia. It's even more classic than Matilda. And Matilda feels like it's been around for 800 years. And what's Seraphina? Is that a bottled water? What are we doing here? So they need to find a happy mid-ground. I think something like Sky would have worked just fine. That seems very middle of the road. Don't name them Aquafina or anything after a water bottle, because that's what it looks like it's getting there, or anything from Greek mythology, since they want a more unique and new name, even though Atlas is definitely not. But I don't think the OP is the jerk here. I think they both just need to come together and find a name that works for both of them. And I think the wife is kind of grasping at straws. Look, your kid doesn't need to have a unique name. Just decide on one, and I'm sure the kid will be fine. But thank you for all of those who decided to stop by. Have a nice quick little listen. The YouTube has been doing absolutely amazing recently. I've been trying to be more consistent with it, get videos out on a more regular basis. I hope you all enjoyed the newest video. I hope you're all enjoying all of the videos. If you don't like this, then let me know and I'll stop doing it. But I like doing it because it's fun to talk about other people's stories. I don't know why, but it is. But Thank you to everyone who stopped by to listen. Make sure you go watch all the other videos. If you like movie reviews, go check those out. I talk for a long time and have a bunch of memes in those, so have fun with that. But if you like this, like and subscribe, comment, do whatever you'd like. I'm not your parent, but until next time, I'll see you in the next one.